Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Lost for Words. Tonight, our topic is going to be religion, and I'm going to discuss some things about religion, my views, what I think. Um, I've been struggling with these issues, with the issue of religion, for a couple of days now. Not really struggling, but wondering why God does the things he does, or whether or not you can even call God God. Um, Basically, I am confused as to why things happen the way they happen and why we blame God for the things that happen. Some people believe that God makes things happen. Some people believe that it's the devil that makes things happen. Um, I'm of the opinion that the devil doesn't make things happen. You are who you are, and the devil has no inclination or bearing on what happens in your life. If we make mistakes, a lot of people say the devil made us do it. But in all reality, those mistakes were made by us, humans. No entity made us do those things. No entity made us have those mistakes or make those mistakes. The devil didn't make us do it. We did it on our own. So when people say that they were tempted by the devil, that's wrong. They were tempted by another human being or another material possession that they wanted or something like that. Unfortunately, it wasn't the devil that made us do it. It was our own minds and maybe another person or somebody that handed you something or had something that you wanted. That's not a devil made you do it. That's your brain and your own vanity and your own mind that made you do it. So if you say the devil made you do it, that's a cop out. Honestly, I mean, even if you believe in religion, look at the facts. There is no entity in the devil that comes out and with a pitchfork and the tail and the horns and the scary demon type devil. There is no entity that comes out that looks like that says, "Here, take this. I'm going to tempt you." That's just the way it is. I mean, look at the facts. Have you ever seen the devil? I mean, maybe George Bush or Donald Trump, that may be the devil, but he's not making us do those things. We're making us, do the things that we do in life. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, there are people that are agnostic, there are people that are Jewish, there are people that are Christian, there are people that are Muslim, there are people that are Buddhists. It's all based on the same principle. An entity that came down that made human beings or did something like that. And that's why we're here. I know people believe that, there is a God, and that's okay. People can believe in that, and that's whatever makes you feel good. I mean, to be honest with you. And if you're honest with yourself, I mean, the entity that came down that we all call God may be, an alien for all we know. Something that came down, he came out, she came out, it came out, and told us, what we should do, gave us the mathematical knowledge from 10,000 years ago to build the pyramids, to do those kind of things. To go, an entity may have come down in Peru and gave them the option to build things. That's all opinion based. Nobody knows the truth. You may read the Bible and think of that as the truth. You may read the Quran and think of that as the truth. You may think of any religious text that is out there, and you may think that that's the truth. And that's fine to believe that. And like I said, whatever makes you feel better about your life and whatever makes you feel better about who you are, whether or not you believe one religion or the other, we're all a human race. We're all human beings, and we all bleed red. We all have a heart. We all pump blood. We all can be cut. We all can be hurt. Religion is something that can be debated and can be compartmentalized, so to say, because you can believe one part of one religion and believe another part of religion. You can believe in karma. You can believe in those kind of things. The entity that we call God, yes, he does work in mysterious ways. However, God isn't the one who goes to work every day. God isn't the one who drives your car. God isn't the one who makes the decisions for you. You make the decisions for yourself. And that in itself kind of makes you think that, maybe we all in ourselves individually are gods. Maybe we're all God. Maybe, you're God of your world. Maybe I'm God of my world. Maybe, the God that our pets pray to may be different than the God that we pray to. Who knows? Who's to say? I mean, if you look at things through a worldview, there's all this separation about religion and how we look at it and what we think of it. I just saw recently, I was watching a show called Penn and Teller Bullshit, and they had some very interesting points about religion. And I've touched on some of them already. I mean, like I said, there are what we believe is a God is our own minds. Realistically, we can pray to Jesus, we can pray to Buddha, we can rub Buddha's belly, we can, pray to Muhammad, we can do all those things. But in the end, we are the ones who have to make that decision. We are the ones who have to make the decision who God really is and what we think God is and what we think God can do for us. I've gone through some really tough times in the past 8 months. My mom passed away in November. My grandmother passed away at the beginning of May, I believe it was. And my wife's grandfather just passed away on yesterday. So I asked on Facebook why. I wanted to know why, and I still want to know why. I pray. I may not go to church. I may not go to a church that everybody, thinks is a traditional church. I pray where I pray, and where I pray is my church. Whether it be in my car, whether it be in my bedroom, whether it be in my living room, whether it be on a walk to the supermarket, or whether it be at Camden Yards in Baltimore. I pray where I pray, and that is my church. Does that make me non-religious? No. It makes me all religious, because I don't just pray to God. I pray to whatever entity is going to listen to me and guide me. Whether or not they guide me, whether or not those entities that I pray to guide me, that's yet to be recognized, because, to be honest, I haven't heard things from God or from those entities or the things that we call gods. I haven't heard from them in a long, long time. I mean, I've gone through some really rough things in my life. I've been on my deathbed at least 5 times. And when people say, when you die, you see this light and you see the Garden of Eden, or you see this staircase that leads to heaven. You know what I saw when I was on my deathbed and when they told me that I had either died on the table or been that close to death? You know what I saw? Darkness. Nothing. Whether or not, I think that there's an afterlife is irrelevant, because I've been close enough to death and have been there and haven't seen anything. When my mom passed, myself and my family, we all, we said, she's in a better place. And to a point, she is. But that better place is a place where she's not in any pain, where she's not hurting, where it's quiet, she's at peace with herself, and there's not much else that I can say about where she is. Does the rest of my family believe that she's in heaven? Yes. And that's good. That's good for them, because they have that notion that there's that afterlife, and we'd all like to believe that. When my cat Jonas, my best friend in the whole world for many, many years, when he died, I'd like to think that he went over the Rainbow Bridge, and that he went to a better place. Whether or not he went to heaven, I don't know. But I do believe that my kitty Jonas, that he has a soul, and that soul left this planet, and he went to somewhere where he's going to be eating shrimp and playing and just being who he was. I mean, when my grandmother passed, again, it was about where people said that she was in heaven, and that's good. I hope that she's in a place like heaven. Whether or not she is or she isn't, again, is irrelevant. It's what everybody else thinks, and whatever makes you feel better about how you think. My whole deal and my question is, why does God make the things, or why does the entity of God make things happen, or why do we believe that the entity makes those things happen? I mean, it's confusing, and it's very disconcerting when things happen multiple times in less than a year and you get no answers after you pray. When you pray to those entities and to those things and they don't answer your questions, it can create anger and resentment and dissension. And I have anger, I have resentment, but the good part about religion, and any religion, is that you're allowed to have those feelings. You're allowed to, and you should be able to express them. And people should either stay quiet and not tell you how they think that it should be, but they should listen. Listen to what the person that's hurting is saying, and then be compassionate and understanding about how that person feels. Never ever try and press your religion on another person. And the reason why is because that other person that you're pressing that religion on may feel extremely different than what you feel. Now, it's nice to be invited to churches, and it's nice to be invited to synagogues, and it's nice to be invited to temples, and for people to try and get you into their religion. I get that, and I understand that. And throughout my life, I've had a lot of people try and get me to go to their church or wherever they worship. And I am appreciative of that, but I'm also against doing that. Because like I said in the beginning of this whole video, is that wherever I pray, that is my church. Whether I have a denomination of whether I have a denomination of what kind of religion I'm in is, again, irrelevant. It's irrelevant to the notion that an entity exists that controls all life and all parts of life. It's nice to think that there is, but if you look at the facts, a lot of the things that you read are stories. Stories. And from my experience and from my experience throughout my life, that's what they are. They're stories. Now, there's one story in the Bible that I have learned from and that I believe is probably the best story in the Bible, and that is the story in the book of Job. Because I relate to it. Whether or not I believe in the entity called God is, again, irrelevant, but I have read the book of Job many times, and I understand what Job went through. Because, to be honest, I've gone through a lot of the same things that Job went through just in modern times. And that book resonates with me. I recommend that story out of the Bible of all stories, because that story resonates and should resonate with most of society today. Now, I'm not pressing you to be a Christian. All I'm saying is read that story in the Bible and learn from it. Because you never know, maybe there is two entities out there that are betting on your life and betting on your faith. And who wins? Nobody. Nobody wins in that one. I can understand how some people will believe that what they think is better or righteous, and that's fine. Whatever works for you, because whatever works for you may be different than what works for somebody else. What I believe may not be what the person down the block believes. But you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because we all have free will. Free will, which means that we are free to make our own decisions, our own mistakes, and to believe in whatever we want. Whatever we want. And we should never, ever hold that against anybody else. Ever. And whoever does, well, they're just an asshole. And they really, if they hold that against you, then you don't need them in your life, and you should immediately get rid of them. Hopefully, what I've said here makes sense to you. Hopefully, what I've said here resonates within you and helps you understand that we are all in this world together, and we are all people that need to have better understanding, more compassion, love for one another, and love for our own fellow man. So hopefully you watch this video and you understand what I'm saying. If you don't, that's fine too. Tell you what, give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. In the comments below, tell me what you think. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what goes through your mind when you think of religion. Whether it doesn't matter if you're whatever you worship, whether you're Jewish, Catholic, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindi, anything. It doesn't matter what you think. I want to know how you feel about this. I want to know. Leave me some comments. Tell me what you think. Share this video with everybody you know so they can understand and they can start a conversation about religion and about what you think. So if you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and let other people know that there's a video vlog out there called Lost for Words. Share it. Let's all get along. Let's all love each other. Let's all try and make this a better world. Thank you. And this has been Lost for Words.